All right, well, Congresswoman Tubbs Jones may be behind Senator Clinton, but the question now is the rest of Ohio. Joining us right now, Hiram College political science professor Jason Johnson. Jason, thanks so much for coming in.
Good evening.
All right, so what do you make of that last piece there by Brian Duffy and, again, Senator Tubbs Jones backing Senator Clinton? Will that matter in the race right here in Ohio, the critical race?
In the grand scheme of things, it may not. It may end up mattering for Stephanie Tubbs Jones later on in the fall. What a lot of campaigns have been seeing is that, and this has especially happened in Georgia, you've already had some superdelegates decide, look, if my district goes 80 or 90% for Barack Obama over Hillary Clinton, I run the risk of really alienating my own voters come this fall if I don't go for the person who carried my district. So Stephanie Tubbs Jones is going to remain loyal to the person that she's expressed loyalty to initially, but if her district very much goes for Barack Obama, she may have some decision making later on this fall when it comes to the major conventions.
All right, let's take a look at how close it is between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton in Ohio right now. If we can bring up that graphic to show the latest poll of Democratic voters, Hillary Clinton leading by 7 percentage points. There's a plus or minus 4 percentage point margin of error, so it's very close. But this was a much wider gap just a couple of weeks ago, and Obama has been creeping up. Is this something, I mean, what are you thinking about this, Jason?
This is the trend that we've seen. Anytime voters get a chance to spend time with Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton in the same kitchen, it seems like Barack Obama is the one who's invited to stay for dinner. We saw the same thing happening out in California. You had about a 20-point lead for Hillary Clinton, and she supposedly, California was her firewall, and the Latino voters were in favor of her. And what ended up happening, with only 4 or 5 days to spend in California, Barack Obama narrowed that gap from 20 points, 22 points to only 10. And the same thing seems to be happening in Ohio, where he's got a lot more time to compete.
All right, so basically what you're saying is she would have loved for the race in Ohio, the voters to go to the polls maybe 2 weeks ago. That would have helped her out a lot, though.
Most definitely. And in fact, you know, the key thing that we're looking at here is, you know, my contacts in the Hillary Clinton campaign back in D.C. and other parts of the state have said the mistake that they've actually made thus far is they severely underestimated Barack Obama. If you look at his background and his history, he hasn't had that many tough campaigns. They didn't expect him to put up this much of a fight. From the Obama campaign, they're playing with house money right now. It looks like if they come close in Ohio, even if they lose, it's still a success on his behalf because of the way the delegate count will likely break down. Hillary Clinton has only won 2 or 3 states by 15 or more points. If she doesn't get that kind of victory in Ohio and doesn't get that kind of victory in Texas, she might be in trouble.
Hillary might have made a major mistake in the debate last night. The air was sucked out of the room when she kind of was critical of Barack Obama using the words of a friend of his. Let's take a look at that soundbite real quick, and Jason, I want to get you to respond to that soundbite from last night's debate in Texas.
If your candidacy is going to be about words, then they should be your own words. That's, I think, a very simple proposition. And, you know, lifting whole passages from someone else's speeches is not change you can believe in. It's change you can Xerox. And I just don't think. No, but you know, but Barack, it is.
A play on words, and there was some boos coming out of that crowd. Do you think that hurt her?
I think it hurt her a lot. But one of the things about debates that everybody has to remember is they're political ink blot tests. If you like Barack Obama, then you think he's doing well. If you like Hillary Clinton, then you think she's doing well. The reality is that the statement that she made, it didn't work in Wisconsin when she mentioned it before. Most voters don't necessarily believe that every candidate is saying speeches that they've written themselves, just like musicians and rappers aren't always singing lyrics that they've actually written themselves. So Barack Obama was sort of immediately covered when she made that kind of criticism. The other thing is it came off very forced. Hillary Clinton's strength is when she talks about facts and she talks about her experience and talks about history. And when she tries to put in a zinger, it just doesn't come across as sincere.
Jason, doesn't it matter what impression you leave people with, both in real life and also in politics? And boy, did she hit a home run at the end. And I can tell you, if you look at Barack Obama's face, and we're going to play it here, he looks like, she stole my moment. Let's go to the tape again.
Well, I think everybody here knows I've lived through some crises and some challenging moments in my life. And whatever happens, we're going to be fine. You know, we have strong support from our families and our friends. I just hope that we'll be able to say the same thing about the American people.
Jason, warms my heart. They're saying that it's second only to the crying moment in New Hampshire. Is that enough momentum to push her ahead in Ohio and Texas?
Not necessarily. In fact, if you watch how the narrative was right after that debate finished on CNN, you saw some people who were really moved. They saw Hillary Clinton. They said, my goodness, that was a great, fantastic speech. My personal opinion, I think it was the best answer she gave in any debate until she kept talking. When she decided that she was going to tell Barack Obama that I'm okay no matter what happens, it sounded like the beginning of a concession speech. And what she really needed to do was knock it out of the park.
I thought the look that Barack gave her was, Hillary, I feel badly that your husband cheated on her, he's cheated on you, and now I'm going to beat you too.
Exactly.
All right, well, I've been guilty of that thing where I keep talking and talking too, Jason. All right, well, listen, we got to have you back because we thoroughly have enjoyed it. Jason, thanks so much, Jason Johnson, and we certainly will have you back.
Thank you.
All right, let's check in with Rick Abel now.